Hello and welcome to this 29th day of MIAMAFV, where we take a look and see how the greatest day in motorsports 2018 went.
It's red panty night when you signed to fight me, yeah?
Have you ever? No, I've never! I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I'm gay.
Okay, let's start things off. We had breakfast in Monaco at about 9 a.m. Daniel Ricciardo leads every single lap. First time he's ever done that. First time he ever won from pole. I didn't pick him to win that race. I picked Sebastian Vettel or Lewis Hamilton, and those guys finished second and third. And they're doing victory lane celebrations right now at the Coke 600. I'm actually house sitting for my dad, and he's got all the TV channels and shit that I need to watch all this. I don't have that at my house, and I didn't want to just wait on some shitty stream on Reddit to pop up. And so I'm recording this like after the Coke 600 got done. So I'm pretty damn tired and ready for this day to be over with. But you know, MIAMAFV video a day. This is one that I had planned out. I was going to do this as soon as it happened, and then my dad shipped out of country, and I'm house sitting for him, so it worked out perfect. Took my audio equipment with me and everything. But yeah, the Formula One race was just dominated by Daniel Ricciardo. There was a late crash between a Sauber and a Toro Rosso car, and I thought that was going to cause a safety car, and I was begging for it because Sebastian Vettel was a good 2-3 seconds behind, and I think there was something like 7-8 laps left, and he really needed that. And they didn't call the safety car. They just put out a virtual safety car, which means everybody's kind of have to slow down, and they don't allow you to pass or anything. And man, when that virtual safety car got lifted, Sebastian Vettel was 6 seconds behind then, and I don't know what the rules are for F1 when it comes to the virtual safety car, but it looks like Daniel Ricciardo was inching out front. But the announcers didn't seem to suggest that there was anything wrong with the rules or anything that was done improperly, so I guess everything's on the up and up. Just about, not even an hour later, Indy 500 kicks off. Ed Carpenter won pole. It's not the first time he's done that. I think it's the third time in 4-5 years he's done that. And the reason why I didn't mention him in the previous video is because he's usually kind of a non-factor as the race progresses. Usually he fades after the first quarter of the race. This race he was doing pretty darn well for himself. He was hanging in there, and I was pretty impressed. He seems like he's learned from all his mistakes in the past. And the guy that I picked to win, Helio Castroneves, he wrecked out. Takuma Sato wrecked out. Scott Dixon, he was up there. He was competing. But I did not pick Will Power. I thought, hey, this guy has like 1, maybe 2 oval victories to his credit in his entire career. He's a road course racer. He comes from Champ Car, back when Champ Car and IndyCar were 2 separate things. And at the time, Champ Car had the Milwaukee Mile, and then in 2007, they had no oval races. So he basically cut his teeth on road courses. He has virtually no oval experience. But you know what? He went out there. There was a restart late with something like 10 to go, and he was like in 5th, 6th place. And the announcer said, he's got to go. He's really got to put the pedal down, and he's got to go. And he went at it, dude. He split some guys, went 3 wide, moved his way up to the front. It helped him out a little bit that the 2 guys, Wilson and I think it was Harvey, they had to pit because they weren't going to make it on fuel. And I think coming out of turn 4, I think Wilson realized he wasn't going to make it, or the car hiccuped in something, because he just turned dead left into pit lane as soon as they got off the corner. And then Harvey probably got scared with him, and he's like, man, we pitted like the same time. I'm probably going to need fuel too. And that was probably the game plan, was, hey, if Wilson pulls in, you pull in too. And so they pulled out, and then Will Power goes straight to the front and never looks back. He put down some laps, man. He was doing like qualifying speeds out there. Nobody could keep up with him. He ran away from him and never looked back, and he went crazy in victory lane. I don't think I've ever seen a guy look that intense in victory lane before. He just looked like he was ready to just kill somebody. And his wife in victory lane, Liz Power, she was hilarious. She was freaking out. She had a water bottle in her hand and was just had like in her mouth, just like biting down on it. And she was just hysterical in victory lane. And then on to the last leg of our greatest day in motorsports, the Coke 600. Kyle Busch won the pole, and usually that doesn't mean much in a 600-mile race. It's pretty rare to win from the pole. And something was up for grabs that night that I had no idea about until they mentioned it. And that was Kyle Busch had the opportunity to be the first NASCAR driver ever to have a win in the top division at every race he had ever competed at. Nobody's done that. Not Jimmy Johnson, not Jeff Gordon, not Richard Petty back then. They were running like all over the country, and it was pretty much impossible to get a race or win at every racetrack. But Kyle Busch, you know what? He did it. He's won everywhere. He can do anything, and that's pretty wild. He ended up winning the race. He dominated it, won all 4 stages. Started the day with domination, ended the day with domination, and in the middle we have Will Power, who kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody had that guy picked, and again, the guy that I picked, Kevin Harvick, tire failure, car sails off in the corner, just pancakes the whole right side of the car, and he's done. The defending winner, Austin Dillon, that guy's got some pretty crazy luck on his side, and I thought there was a small chance he could go out there and repeat with a little bit of strategy. And, the RCR cars have been looking good. Ryan Newman looked good pretty much all night, was running top 10 until he had his own problems and had to take it behind the wall, which kind of sucked. Jamie McMurray, Ganassi, they looked good. Penske looked great. Penske and Ganassi, they compete at Indy. They compete in NASCAR. What do the two of them want to do? They want to win Indy 500, Coke 600 in the same day. And usually when one team wins the Indy 500, well, the other team comes and wins the Coke 600. I remember in 2010, Ganassi won, I believe, Dario Franchitti at the Indy 500, and Jamie McMurray, at the time driving for Penske, or at the time driving for Ganassi, still does. And he was just lighting them up that year. He won all the big races, and that was going to be like his claim to fame, was going out there and getting Ganassi the double. And then Kurt Busch ruined that for him. We saw Eric Jones do really well. Ryan Blaney, he was running good out there. Stenhouse was doing good. Matt Kenseth still trying to get back in the swing of things. Paul Menard was doing really well. Saw a lot of guys up there that are kind of sort of some unfamiliar faces. The guys who have been running, just inside or outside of the top 15 are really doing well for themselves. And I keep looking up at the screen up here because there's all kinds of shit going on. There's a flash flood warning in the area, and they're playing news like on top of the NASCAR victory lane shit. But how was the racing today? The racing itself was good. It's always kind of hard to describe when one guy goes out and dominates, because it seems like a boring race. But really, you're out there watching everybody else moving around, and there was some great racing in NASCAR, IndyCar. It was getting crazy. It had one long green flag stint at the Indy 500 where everybody got spread out, and things kind of got pretty dull there for a while. But once we got into that last 100 miles, that place came alive. And I've never seen IndyCar like that, with those cars that had the very low downforce, and it was hot there too. It was like 92 degrees, and that track was slick. Those guys were trying to get in fluids and stuff, and then you go over to NASCAR, which is supposed to be 90 degrees, hot, sunny, and then temperature goes down, to like 70 degrees or whatever at night, and it's just drastic change. But it was nice, cloudy, and 80 degrees over in Charlotte. And then when the sun went down, it was nighttime and 78 degrees. So not a whole lot of change there, which was good for Kyle Busch because he just dominated every part of that race. So that does it. That is our greatest day in motorsports for the year 2018. Daniel Ricciardo winning the Monaco GP, Will Power winning the Indy 500, and then Kyle Busch finally getting a win at Charlotte, the one track that has eluded him for so long. Wins the Coke 600, the biggest race there is to win there. You know, that's pretty damn good. That's a series of pretty good storylines there. This year, it was a success. It was all right. I give it this slappy thumb of approval. So that does it. I will see you for day 30 of MIAMAFV. We're winding down. We're almost there. Sit tight, buckle up, and we'll finish this month out. Peace.